Greetings, and I am... Wow, completely screwed that up. Greetings, I am Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Sly Raccoon. We are now going to conclude Part 1 of this epic adventure, and by Part 1 I mean the hub world. The first hub world, and Into the Machine. We get to some of my... well, two of my favourite levels, and one of my least favourite levels, and a point of criticism that I have about the game. But what it is, we will save for later. Starting things off, Into the Machine. Decent level. Ouch. Avoid the flames. Yes, fire indeed hot, and that should be painfully obvious. I'd say, considering that this is probably one of the first bits of the hub world you'll likely see, that this is, I'd say probably one of your best choices for second level of the game. And I guess it's also the one that most thematically ties into the plot. And speaking of all this machinery and construction going on, I hope you excuse any background audio, because right across the street, there is some construction going on as well, so it's a little bit more atmospheric. Yes, walruses and all. Now then, because of the fact that we have exhausted nearly everything there is to say about this hub world, I have some trivia. Although, then again, that is probably something that I should have planned ahead for, but in terms of difficulty, I'd say this is probably a little bit easier than some of the stuff you've had to go against before. Granted, it's nowhere near as... well... I mean, it's not intended to be extremely difficult, that won't be until a couple of levels into the next couple of hub worlds, but on the whole, you should have a pretty cruisy time with Into the Machine. Even with finding the clue bottles, I find. And again, if you're even having trouble with that, then, well, collect mugshot... Whoops, that was a bit of a spoiler there. Collect Raleigh's section of the Thevious... Raleigh's section... Yeah, believe it or not, Raleigh was Sly's ancestor. No, I'm just bullshitting with that. Just use the blueprints to find the clue bottles. God damn, I'm a scatterbrain this afternoon. But yeah, I suppose if I could just focus a little bit more... This level, I wouldn't necessarily say is unremarkable, just a little bit more so... I guess a secondary example of what you're going to be up against. Which again is just platforming, sneaking around. It's, again, your quintessential Sly Cooper level. Although there is something to be said about these fan blades, which I believe were highlighted as a feature for stereoscopic 3D back when that was a thing. Oh my god, I was alive to see out an outdated gimmick that wasn't used to past, like, I don't know, 2012 to 2013. Oh wow, this must be what it feels like to be old. Like, stereoscopic 3D used to be hyped up to be the shit, man, and now look at it, it's just... I don't think people even remember it exists anymore. It exists in that realm where it's too recent to be considered nostalgic, but at the same time, it's, like, old enough to be not cool anymore. God, that's probably the worst place in existence to be in. Yeah. So consider yourselves lucky, kids. You're not stereoscopic 3D. And that should always make you smile. But in any case, yeah, this is where the stereoscopic 3D would come in. Whoa, dudes, totally radical. That's only applicable for the version on the PS... the version on the PS... That's what you can say if you get a Sony game you don't like. But anyway, that's typically where they would use it for the PS3 version. I don't necessarily even know why they really highlighted it, because I tried it, and it didn't really work. Oh well, I suppose that's just the difference between the PS2 and the PS3 version. Outside of a few minor differences, again, the PS3 version I think is okay. I mean, discounting a certain boss fight and a few glitches aside, I do think it is at least worth picking up, because you do get Slide 2 and 3 along with it. Again, I don't really even have a problem with it that much, although I am starting to steer away more from HD collections, since... Again, I do think HD collections are a nice way of getting, you know, games from years past, which people would have otherwise never had a chance to play before, or possibly get to pick up games that they missed the first time around, but at the same time, though... And one thing, and again, this might be my experience with the Devil May Cry and Silent Hill HD collections talking here, but... I don't know, there's something about certain effects being removed that were in the PS2 versions that I find a little bit distracting. Well, I mean that, and again, I suppose there's also my long-standing hatred of Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but then again, that's another can of worms I'd rather not bring up. In any other case, though, I'd say, as far as this level's concerned, it's definitely going to be putting your platforming skills to work. Wouldn't exactly say it's the most challenging platformer level of any game, but, you know, it'll put you to work. Also very deceptive as to where the hidden vault is. But then again, you'll probably find that out in a little bit. Anyway, with the lack of trivia right now, I shall rectify this, because there's pretty much fuck all to talk about with this level. Anyway, fun fact about this area of the Sly Raccoon video game. There was initially meant to be a mini-boss here. I don't mean in this level specifically, in fact I think it was meant to be for a level coming up. But yeah, there was initially meant to be a giant fish mini-boss, which Sly was supposed to take on. It was cut out of the game for reasons that completely elude me, although I believe there is one hint towards it in the next level, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I might have mentioned it briefly in part 1, but I really like Sly's death animations. Like, I mean, they're nowhere near as exaggerated as someone like, say, Gex or Crash, but I just love the way he reacts in certain circumstances of death. Like, when he's falling off a pit, he fires for a bit, and then he's just like, I had a good run. And then he just falls to the ground, and especially when he drowns. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. You might do it in the next few parts, but again, like, he struggles for a little bit, and then he just puts his head in his chest and is like, "Gentlemen, it's been an honor playing with you tonight," and just sinks to the floor. And I really love death animations like that. I mean, I'm sure there have probably been other games in the years since that do that, but I don't know, it's something I always love. It's amusing. I feed on your pain. Anyway, disgusting noises aside, we're going to kick the shiznit out of those walrus guards, who I believe are actually meant to be a reference to Sucker Punch's previous work, Rocket Robot on Wheels, for the Nintendo 64. Never played it, only really seeing gameplay footage of it, but it looks okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sucker Punch were picked up by Sony quite quickly around about the point when Sly Cooper came out, but again, it is interesting to know what Sucker Punch was working on before the days of Infamous and Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm actually really looking forward to, but we'll get into that a bit later.
Interesting! Chris Cooper's dive collection technique. This move is an extension of the dive move you already know. Just jump and hit the triangle button near breakable objects for some fast braking, fast collecting action.
Yeah, and what that's meant to be is basically an extension of your dive move, which, again, jump up, press the triangle button, and you'll dive down to the floor and give him a bit of a ground pound. Yeah, I mean, it's useful, I will say that much. Which I guess is an issue that I'll probably talk about a little bit later regarding the power-ups, because some are quite clearly more useful than others, and just as much as they are baffling for a thief to have. But then again, I probably alluded to that earlier, but yeah, we'll talk about it as we get on. I mean, you know, time-slowing powers, I'm sure all thieves have those. Anyway, in this case, whee! And here's where any... Actually, what's the fear of fire? I guess anybody afraid of fire would probably start shitting their dacks if they saw that. Dun-dun! Oh yeah. Yep. You know that he means business because he folds his arms. But in any case, we have our penultimate mission, and cutting ahead... Actually, I'm kind of tempted to cut out some of the hub world sequences. Maybe, depends upon how long the parts run, because I'm quite stingy on hard drive space as of recently. I really need to do some emptying out of the disk. Then again, I don't necessarily know if that's because of my video editor and all the clips that it probably has in storage somewhere that it creates backups of, or if it's because I just have too much junk.
Astonishing! All my calculations led me to believe you had failed to knock out that generator.
Never was good at math.
Well, here's a real test for you. I found a way out to Raleigh's hideout, but unfortunately, it is doomed to failure.
You're not gonna tell me I have to shoot myself out of that cannon.
I'm afraid that's the only way.
Now you're talking.
You're really scaring me, man. Anyway, to get inside that thing, you had to steal all 7 of Raleigh's treasure keys.
So what are we waiting for? You show me those hollow what's-its?
You mean my holographic markers?
Yeah. And I'll swipe whatever it takes to get shot out of that cannon and steal back my family's Thevious Raccoonus.
So we're gonna get shot out of a cannon. Very tricky. But in any case, yeah, this is pretty much how the hub worlds technically work. You have the first section, you have a small set of keys to obtain before you can access the next section. And with this section, it basically requires you to get all of the keys in order to get to the boss of that area. Usually, actually, now that I think about it, it usually involves Sly getting hurt in some fashion. Well, I think only 2 of the hub worlds do that, but, you know, it's an amusing thought. Not to mention the fact that Bentley also comes up with some of these plans, which, lays credence to my theory that Bentley is secretly in league with the Fiendish Five. I'm sorry, Sly, it was all part of my master plan. Now you will be destroyed. The time of reckoning is at hand. I still can't do a good Bentley voice for the life of me, and I think the only one who possibly can is... some call me Wani from the Supreme Gumming Brothers, whatever. SGP likes to play. I think they probably did one of the better runs of this game. Well, at the very least, one of the more entertaining ones. I think, if we're talking about entertaining runs of Sly Cooper, I'd probably go for Scottish Duck 17, who was a YouTuber that holds particular nostalgia for me, if anyone's ever heard of him, but in any case, we should get on with the game itself, and this is my favourite level of Sir Raleigh's area. I don't know, there's just something very haunting and also very cool about the disused gunboat and machinist areas. I don't know, I love, you know, the whole horror aspect with a bit of a machine touch. Excuse me, I just drank a load of Pepsi and it's making me feel quite burpy. But yeah, I'd say this, again, shouldn't give you too much trouble to collect all the clue bottles. And not to mention, it'll also give you something really cool to look at. So, again, aesthetics-wise, this level gets a pass from me. And, again, it's a little bit more platform-focused, admittedly, but at the same time, though, it's a level that I just really enjoy, you know, for both its aesthetics and for the focus on platforming that it has. And my video editor is lagging. Hopefully my voice isn't getting skipped over right now. And not to mention, though, as you'll see right here, actually, this creepy-looking eye thing, if the camera would fucking turn around. I guess you'll see it in a little bit. This is what happened to Nathan Drake's plane in Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Sir Raleigh had destroyed it. It wasn't the pirates of Eddie Raja. I don't even know why I'm referencing that. Yeah, you'll see right here, this creepy-looking eye thing. Well, I did a bit of research into this because I was always wondering what the hell this thing actually was. And I come to discover that this is in fact Ropin Lopin, a creature that was actually a pet for Sir Raleigh. And I believe that it's this creature who was meant to tie into the fish mini-boss that was meant to be, I'm guessing in this level, because given, you know, the destruction of the gunboats and the ships and everything, plus the fact that the level was initially meant to be set underwater, I don't know, it kind of gives me the impression that, you know, this was where you were gonna fight him, but I guess Sucker Punch cut that out either for time, budget, or... well, God only knows. I mean, this is their first game for Sony, so I'm guessing they probably put them under a bit of a deadline to create a platformer game. Then again, I don't necessarily know exactly what Sucker Punch's relationship with Sony was at the time. I mean, if Rocket Robot on Wheels really impressed them, then, you know, more power to them, I guess, but... even then, it is still very interesting to see how the development of this game came about, because I came to learn some things, but not the entire truth, and I guess that would probably be aided if I took a look at some of the developer commentaries that come if you complete the Master Thief sprints, which you can access whenever you complete a level, but I suppose I've never really been asked to do it. As soon as I get all the pages of the Thevious Raccoonus, that is my playthrough done. But regardless of such, you can easily get all the clue bottles, and now we can head over to here and press the circle to enter the vault code. And I'm probably going to be saying that every time we get to a vault. But in the meantime, enjoy!
Oh, you're lucky, Sly! This page features Karen Cooper-Giwa's coin magnet technique. All she had to do was stand near money, and it would magically jump into her purse. From now on, you'll automatically collect any coins you come near.
Yeah, well, no fucking wonder the Cooper clan were master thieves when they have fucking magnetizing powers of money. Yeah, there's no honor, no joy unless of course you're ripping off a master criminal. Yeah, no fucking wonder, because you have, you know, coin magnetism powers. You know, your ancient ancestor Karen was just like, oh, dearie me, your money is just hopping into my purse. Jesus, I mean... And it gets... And again, you might not believe me, but it gets even sillier than this. I know it's a cartoon platformer, but even then, the amount of powers that the Koopa Clan possesses is very questionable. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Koopa Clan originates from the planet Gallifrey, considering the sort of powers that they wield. But again, we're coming to our final mission of the game, and this one is, well, something that paints Sly Raccoon and, I guess, the Sly series as a whole in a bit of a negative light for me. Well, I mean, I say negative light, but that's probably a bit too strong a word. I guess there's a bit of a drag, so to speak. But anyway, hop into the submarine, which I don't think Sly even owns, but anyway, we'll take a dive into the aquatic mine to find some treasure in the depths. Now, basic setup for this mission. It's a twin-stick shooter. This is our first minigame mission of the game. And, basically what you're going to be doing is that you're going to be getting treasure chests that drop down, and you need to destroy, I think, 40 of them in order to get a key. Problem is, the crabs are going to be getting after them, and of course because of the fact that the crabs are after them, that is essentially meaning that, well, there's a lot of them, there's a lot of treasure boxes, you let even one get past you, and, well, you gotta start the mission all over again. Now, it might not look so bad, but again, as you can see, this gets pretty bloody hectic, so, don't be surprised if you're gonna lose this at many different instances. Because this mission is just a pain in the arse. But again, with enough... And again, like, I mean, this mission isn't so bad, but it does have its moments of frustration, and it's definitely the point where going back to this game, it just kind of leaves me raising an eyebrow. But again, I just want to reiterate, it's nothing that's going to make me say, oh, worst game ever made, 0 out of 10, would never buy again. But it's just something that just leaves me kind of groaning a bit whenever I have to get to it, and this isn't the worst of it, there are a couple of bad ones coming up soon, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And I guess, if I can also talk about, by extension, the other Sly games, this is also a negative note that I think kind of worsens in regards to Sly 2 and 3, because, you know, while there are some decent games like Bentley's hacking minigames in Sly 2 and 3, there are also a bunch of other gimmick missions that are related to the plot which I really don't like, the biggest example of which being, I think in Sly 2 when you have to destroy the dam which is over Rajan's palace. I think it's his palace, or it might be his secondary hideout. Either way, it's just a lot of that stuff that really aggravates me a little bit more. Because, I mean, it isn't exactly a Sonic Adventure 2 scenario where, you know, you're told what sort of gameplay you're getting from the get-go and you just do that to complete it. It's pretty much just getting a gimmicky minigame, which, to me, kind of distracts from it, even if... Well, I mean, I don't want to say it distracts from it or that it should be removed entirely. Just something that I think probably should have been scaled back a little bit and just done on the odd occasion, because I do think there are some mini-games slash missions that I do think are at least decently handled, but then you get to some like this, which I feel could have used either a bit more time in development or just could have been cut entirely. But in any case, with enough persistence, you'll finally complete that. And now it is time to finally face off against Sir Raleigh the Frog. And I probably won't have that much of a chance to talk about him, but I really do love Sir Raleigh's voice. I don't know, it just sounds really cool and suave, at the same time going really high-pitched. But in any case, we aim our cannon upwards, and fire. Whee! Smack.
How delightful! We have a guest. The only thing is, I hate unexpected guests!
Listen, Raleigh, wipe up my family and steal what's mine, you better expect company.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry. How sloppy of me not to finish the job. Obviously, we should have snuffed you out as well. So, without further ado, let me begin my what? Bloating to gargantuan size and squashing you like the insignificant bug that you are!
Bring it on.
Okay, so first boss of the game, Sir Raleigh. Gonna be getting to brass tacks as to strategy here, since I don't really have that much of a chance to talk. But yeah, he's gonna bloat up, hop around for a bit, he'll chase you on the platforms, then he'll get tired and go down to his regular size. You whack him with your cane, wash, rinse and repeat. Although this strategy does change up, because he will start placing bombs on the platforms, which you have to jump off and chase him around for a bit. And then he'll start lashing out his tongue at you and, well, trying to smack you off that way. And because Sly is a one-hit point wonder, this is nothing to take lightly if you don't have a lucky charm on you. But at the same time though, Sir Raleigh isn't really anything to scoff at. He's a machinist at heart, and as such, like all nerds, he's piss weak so you can beat him up. Again, there's nothing really too difficult about Sir Raleigh, that's pretty much it really. Because he hates unexpected guests! I love this guy's voice, man, it's so humorous. But anyway, bada bing, you do the thing and Sir Raleigh's defeated.
Blast it all! You've beaten me! Well, gloat all you want, Sly Cooper. You're no match for Mugshot, my villainous cohort in Utah. You'll see. Mesa City is so well guarded, a snake couldn't slither in without setting off alarms.
Raleigh's section of the Thevious Raccoonus held detailed instructions on how to perform my ancestor Ryoichi Cooper's Ninja Spire Jump, a technique he developed while sneaking into the thickly fortified castles of feudal Japan. Finding a way off Raleigh's boat got a little tricky with the untimely arrival of Inspector Fox, who, failing to find me, busted Raleigh and his crew. With the storm machine out of commission, boats found their way back onto the ocean, and the mystery of the Welsh Triangle faded from memory. My gang and I loafed around England for a while, enjoying the pleasant weather, and then headed back home, excited for our next heist.
So on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Sly Raccoon commentary, we'll be heading over to Mesa City to take down Mugshot with the second page of the Thevious Raccoonus. Although in this case it's like 5 now. Anyway, see you later.